Hi. Today I want to talk about how to become a light being. Now, uh, you may be aware that I'm not sure which one it was, but there was an institute, and they found that throughout the history of mankind, over 100,000 people have become light beings. And there's actually a fairly simple process for how you can become a light being too, if that's what you want to do. Um, it it's a method that's been covered in various texts, but one that I read recently was in the Dolores Cannon's Convoluted Universe, Volume One. She was a light being was being channeled by one of her clients and explained the process. Now, to really understand the process, you have to understand the kind of nature of reality. Um there's some people that believe in dualism, which is kind of that the mind and the body is separate. And some, anyway. So to really understand it, you have to realize that it's a monist and it's idealist and it's pluralist idealism, which basically means that everything is mind, but there are many minds, and so your truth is what's in your mind, and uh, the surrounding truth is the reality is what kind of the collusion of the minds. And also another important understanding to understand this teaching is understanding that everything is energy. Like you've probably heard of E equals mc squared. So you could just see the, think of the light, and then it's coming in and into an atom, and then it's basically just going around in circles in the atom. Uh, and it's that's the energy. And so that everything is light. That's the basic idea. So the teaching is that you do a meditation. It's a special kind of meditation where you see everything as light. You see yourself as light, and you just imagine all of your cells radiating light, and you imagine everything around you radiating light, and really understanding that everything is fundamentally light. And usually you'd have to do this kind of meditation for 10,000 hours. So, 5, 10 years, give or take. Take a few hours a day. Um, some other things to watch out for is because of how the reality is pluralist, other people's beliefs matter. So, for instance, the many of the people that have successfully turned into light beings did so only with the witnesses who were their believers. Because if you have some people that don't believe, then their kind of their will is to not see it happen. So, for example, one of the most recent cases was a Tibetan Lama who was in remote area with some of his disciples, and he turned into rainbows. Um, and this is a fairly common practice in Tibet, turning into rainbows at the end of one's lifetime for lamas. And so, yeah, there's different ways. I have some more information about becoming a light body. And then another interesting aspect of it is that if you get good enough at becoming a light being, and then going and rematerializing, then you can use it as a form of personal teleportation. But like I was saying, you probably would have to do it from one remote location to another remote location, so that you don't have too many people that don't believe, or whatever. Um, and it's not super safe uh, if you don't know what you're doing. So it's good to know what you're doing. And you can get like spirit guides and stuff like that to help you out with these things. Another, it's light being is also somewhat related to breatharianism. You've probably heard of breatharianism. I know some people try to just go without food or water, and that's just not gonna work. First, you have to do the work where you see yourself as a light being, and then you see that you can be re-energized by the light, so that your cellular matrix and the atoms and everything else is directly re-energized by light energy. And then, and only then, can breatharianism work for you. Like they did some studies with a man uh, who was, I think they had him in a greenhouse for a week or more, and he did not have any signs of dehydration, even though he was, well, he basically wasn't drinking or eating anything, and they were watching him, video cameras and all that stuff. But he did lose some weight, and he was saying it was because the the greenhouse was blocking some of the light. And, well, it is true. Not all of it goes through the glass and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, so it's an interesting thing. So now you know how to become a light being. It just requires some dedicated meditation on everything being light, and you being light, and the self being light, and eventually your whole body will simply disintegrate all into light. Just like the Tibetan Lamas with the rainbow bodies. Yep. All right. Now, I just wanted to finish off with reasons why you wouldn't want to be a light being. Is if you like being on Earth. Well, you can still be on Earth if you're a light being, but if you like physicality, if you like, picking up rocks without, having to levitate them, or you like, you know, bumps and scrapes, or the other kind of things that just come with being physical, and having to eat food and all that kind of stuff. All right, so I think that's it for this video. Namaste.